How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Montpellier Career Mode. This is episode number 41, and we've just got 4 games in today's episode. 3 in the league and 1 in the cup, so no Champions League. You'll have to wait until the next episode to find out our fate against Liverpool. That'll be in episode 42. We went into the first game of today's episode, and it was against Strasbourg. Now, they actually they didn't beat us, but they drew against us, I think, in the previous game. They were having a really good start to the season when we last played them, and they're still doing pretty well. I think they're still sitting around mid-table, which for Strasbourg, I was quite surprised. I always put them down at the lower end of the table, in my mind at least. Just off FIFA ratings alone, they've got quite low rated, 75 or below rated players. I don't really know too many of them that are super high rated, but again, they started this game off relatively well. They had a couple of chances, and they just held up a lot of possession, much like what the AI does in every game. I feel like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining because I think we've played really well in the past few episodes, but it is just a shame that they get one chance and then they score it, or they have no chances but 70% possession or something. It's just a bit annoying that they don't do anything with their possession. That's all. We came out into the second half hoping to improve, maybe get a little bit more possession, maybe 45%. That's what I was hoping. Yeah, it was a weird game, and they actually did go ahead and score. Füllkrug, the former Hanover man, goes ahead and puts it in the back of the net, making it 1-0 to the home side. And it was a good goal from them. By our standpoint, it was poor. I think Zagadou gets caught, gives Füllkrug just that little bit too much extra space, and no chance for Lloris. Hit quite hard at his near post. I know Lee Dixon's always talking about the near post, but that time I don't think Lloris could have done too much about that. And then we were chasing the game, which was disappointing. We had a chance there. Sadly, Delort goes down. It is only a 5-day injury, luckily. But he did go down there after that chance. We had to take him off. And as soon as we did that, pretty much we scored. Dennis Mann, I think he came on for Delort, or he already came on. I can't remember. I think Bale came on for Delort. That was the way it worked. And Dennis Mann went ahead and scored a diving header. The second one we scored this season already, which is quite nice to see. But we get the equalising goal, luckily, and just in the dying stages of the game, Dennis Mann played in, and he hits the post. We didn't score that one, sadly. That was really disappointing. We had the chance to win the game in the final stages, but we just couldn't. Didn't have our shooting boots on. Really, it was a poor performance by us. We had the chance. We got 40% possession in the second half, which was much nicer. An extra 2% to the first half. Yeah, it was a pretty poor game by our standpoint. I think we really should be winning that sort of game, even though it's away from home, and Strasbourg have had a decent season this year. Still defensively, they're one of the better teams in the league. That was still a poor game, and we probably should have done a little bit better. Oh, I just remember, no, we actually beat them 4-0, didn't we, last time at home? Because they were the best defence in the league, and we just absolutely demolished them. Anyway, doesn't matter. We drew that game away from home. Very disappointing, and we just had to move on into the next game against RC Lens. They were a team that had just been promoted this season. We obviously had Clement Michelin, who we signed from them, I think, was it last season? It was, wasn't it? And he was a fairly minimal amount, but it did mean we were playing against Ambroise Ayongo for the second time this season. Michelin didn't start in this game, as I wanted to start Tavares. He's just a much better player. I found I've got much more out of him than Michelin this season. I'm really happy with that signing. Sadly for us, Lens went ahead and scored the first goal of the game. They took the lead. That's the second time in this episode we've already conceded the first goal. Disappointing by our standpoint. We make the tackle. We did really well to make the tackle on the block. And then Caleri, well, that's just a little bit of inspiration there. He's first to the ball, and straight away he's thinking best way to get it in the back of the net is to chip it, and he does really well. Lovely bit of technique shown. Only his third goal this season, but if he'd have done more of that, I think he would have scored a few more. Really nice finish, and they get the lead. Luckily for us, we do have some quality on the team. Gareth Bale goes ahead, in behind the lines, and puts the ball in the back of the net. It's a lovely finish, and no chance for the goalkeeper. Smashed into the roof of the net. It was a near post one, but I don't think many goalkeepers would be saving that, even if they were stood upright. I think that was a really well-placed shot, and a nice way to get back in the game straight away. A really nice way to respond as well. We conceded early on, and we looked to get back in the game straight away, which was nice. We went in at half-time 1-1. Disappointing, again. I think we were the home team, and we should have been playing much better. And we came out in the second half and did play much better. We had a couple of chances. A good chance there with Laborde. Probably should have done a little bit better. He went for the acrobatics, didn't quite come off. And then in the dying stage of the game, the 87th minute, Shotar is played in and finishes it lovely. into the back of the net. Lovely. Finishes it nicely into the back of the net. I need to think of some better words to describe some of our goals. But Shotar wearing the captain's armband. I think if we were to continue this save, I probably would give Shotar the captain's armband after Stromboli retires, or probably just gets taken out of the team. I know Delors is a player that probably should get the armband as well, but Shotar wearing the armband in that instance. And he scored the winning goal, which is nice to see. Probably shouldn't have left it that late, but it doesn't matter. We got the win, and that is all that matters. It means that we're still up there. I think we were still in first place at this point. And we were still keeping tabs on PSG and Lyon. It looks like it's going to be a 3-horse race this season, which is nice. It means that we're not just going to run away with it, and PSG aren't just going to run away with it. They've just gained too many points that nobody can catch them. But it's going to be an interesting end to the season, especially if we're still in the Champions League. If we're not, I would definitely tip us as favourites to win the league, as it means we can just focus all our efforts on winning that league title. Went into the third game of today's episode. It was in the Coupe Nationale, or Coupe de France. I think that's what it's called in real life. And we scored an absolutely delightful goal to start this game off against Marseille. Andy Delors chests it, and just what a goal that is. Like, that is the quality you have. It was a lovely ball from Tavares, and I actually thought that he'd taken a touch too much. I thought he was going to hit it first time, but he took the extra touch and then puts it in the back of the net. Top bins. Fantastic goal from Delors, and then follows it up with another fantastic goal. Vacharin plays him in, and no chance for the goalkeeper once Delors through there. He just absolutely rockets that into the top corner, and that was pretty much not game, but it looked like it was going to be the end of the game. Marseille didn't really produce much in that first half. We looked like the better team, and we just looked like we were going to go and score a lot more goals. Sadly for us, in the second half, Marseille woke up. I don't know what the manager said to them, but it definitely was something more than I think we can do a bit better than that. It was probably some stronger words, I'd say. But they definitely came out and played much better in this second half. And I think if it wasn't for some good saves from Lloris, it would have been a really, really difficult second half. We had a couple of chances. They had a couple of chances really early on, and Lloris comes big, making some saves. And we did have some chances to really just kill the game off, and we just couldn't really finish it. This one was probably one of the better ones. Vacharin played through, could have taken an extra touch. He had a little bit more time. And this one again, Vacharin on the ball again, behind the lines. And really, I mean, he should have done better there with the chance. Passes it off, and Laborde gets his shot blocked on the line. So, don't get me wrong, Marseille didn't come out in this game and don't totally dominate in the second half, but they definitely had some chances to maybe make it a little bit nervy and get that goal back. But luckily for us, Lloris was awake in this game and made some key saves to keep his clean sheet, which is nice. He has only got 3 clean sheets since bringing him in, but if I'm being honest, it's not necessarily all of his fault. Lloris has been pretty good. He's made some really good saves, and all the goals we've conceded in today's episode, it's been the only shots that the team have had, and they've been pretty nice goals. So it's difficult for me to judge Lloris based off a few performances, and also it's difficult to judge any goalkeeper in this game really, based off the fact that they only make about 4 saves. They only get 4 chances to make a save in a game at most, really. So I think Lloris has been pretty solid, and he's definitely shored up that back line, meaning we're not conceding as many late goals as we used to. We're now just conceding goals very early on instead. But we went into the final game of today's episode, and it was against Bordeaux. Now, I will just premise this game. This was a bit of a goal fest. I think this is the highest scoring game we've ever had. So, just a little bit of a spoiler. You won't know who scores all those goals, but we started the game off really well. Gareth Bale played in behind, poor defending, and well, that was just a lovely finish from the Welsh international. No stopping that from Costile, and Gareth Bale starts off the goal scoring with a belter. That was a really nice goal. I will also just say that Bordeaux, I think when they went into this game, all of their players were like on 75%, 85% fitness. That's what it looked like anyway before we were going into the game. I'm not sure if they made a load of changes, but they weren't quite on it in this one, I would say. They definitely didn't start off quickly, and it got much worse. In the 20th minute, Andy Delors, lovely ball. I actually meant to play this into Gareth Bale for just sort of like an inside ball, but it actually went outside to Andy Delors, who strikes it with his left foot into the top corner. I honestly think he must have caught Costile off, thinking that he was going to strike with his right into the near post, but he doesn't, and hits it first time on his left foot. What a goal that is. And it looked like it was going to become very embarrassing for Bordeaux. Sadly for us, we concede what I would say is a poor goal, but really, when I look back at it over and over again, it's a really nice finish. Lovely play from Bordeaux. The good hold-up play by the midfielder. Played in and hit first time by their striker. And it's just a really nice finish, this. I'm not sure there's much Lloris could do with it. It's hit first time, quite hard and with a lot of curl. And it just curls inside that post. And that gets his 3rd goal of the season for the striker for Bordeaux. I will also add, Bordeaux, they've got a really good team this year. They've managed to keep hold of a lot of their key players from the first season. And they've got some really nice players that grow really well. Uda, who starts in the attacking mid-role. That striker that just scored has got a fairly decent potential now. And then some of their defenders as well have got some good potential. So it is quite a good team. And the fact that they've kept a lot of them is quite interesting. It's definitely... I think it's definitely a team that's not underachieving in the league. I think they're around about 9th or 10th. And they probably could go on and do much better if they... I don't know, if they maybe stop conceding so many goals. And if they'd just shore up that back line a little bit. But they scored again, sadly. We did score, but they came back straight at us with a goal here. Jeremy Uda, a really nice goal. 13th goal of the season for him. He is probably definitely their best player, and probably something we maybe should look at. He looks like a really good talent. I think in real life he's playing quite well as well. Nice goal from him. And sadly for us, we come in at half-time, only having 2 shots against us, but conceding both of them. It's like I said, it's very difficult to defend against this AI sometimes, but it must be very difficult to defend against us as well, as Andy Delors picks up his 2nd goal of the game, played in behind, takes it first time, and again, I don't think there's much Costille could do about that. It's just a really nicely placed shot, and no chance for the goalkeeper. And then shortly after, in the 67th minute, Dennis Mann's played in, and well, he hits that very nicely, low and hard into the back of the net. And no chance again for Costille. It's just hit with so much power. I don't think there's an awful lot he could have done about that. Maybe he could have come out a bit sooner, but to be honest, it could have just been chipped over him as well. So we make it 5-2, I think it was at this point. And then another chance from the corner. Andy Delors picks up his hat-trick, making it 6-2. A lovely ball in, and well, I don't know what the defenders were doing there. There's 2 of them on Andy Delors, and they still don't get the ball. And then the man on the line, well, I mean, Costille, I don't think there's an awful lot he could do. He's probably hoping that the man on the line would get that. And, yeah, he just makes a really poor choice. Tries to get it with his feet. I think he could have put his body on the line and stopped that, but he doesn't. And Andy Delors picks up his hat-trick in this game, rounding off a really, really complete performance by the striker. 22 goals now this season in 21 games in the league. That is incredible. That's not even including the goals in the Champions League and the Cups and everything. Just insane. And the final goal we scored in this one to make it 7-2 was Conrad Nagy. He came on for, I think it was Andy Delors at this point. Decided to sub him off. There's no point in him staying on the pitch. He'd scored his hat-trick. He'd done everything he needed to do. Didn't want him picking up an injury. And Nagy caps off a fantastic team performance. I'm not sure we deserved to score all 7 of the goals we scored today, but it was one of those games. Every shot just seemed to go in. Both goalkeepers had a nightmare. Costille played a 4.5. Lloris played a 6.1. It wasn't exactly the best defensive display from both teams, and I think Bordeaux will be hoping to erase that one from their history books. A really poor performance, and in the end, a lovely, lovely win for us. That is going to be the end of the episode, though. As you can see, we finish the episode in first place by 1 point and 2 points above PSG as well, which is even better. They did go ahead and draw against Stade de Reims, so not Stade de Reims, Stade Rennais. My mistake. But a lovely place to find us in at the end of the episode, and you're going to have to find out how we do against Liverpool in the next one. But I'll see you in the next episode, which will be out very soon. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.